Nosferatu in theaters tonight with my fiance. So I'm just going to be talking about the movie until either my phone times me out or I actually get to end this video. I brought my little dog with me today. She's actually not super happy about being in this room with me, but that's okay. And I also brought my Dr. Pepper, so I'm going to be taking a few sips as we go. As you can tell, this is definitely not the outfit that I wore to match my makeup when we went to see Nosferatu. But I've been home for a while now, and I changed into my pajamas. These are just my pajamas. And I was gonna lay down and go to sleep, but I thought I would record this for you before I took my makeup off. I think I did that right. But anyway, I did already do one take of this video, and I only got about 5 minutes in when my phone cut me off. So I was still in the beginning of talking about the movie. So I'm just gonna kind of try to start from the beginning again and see if I can hit all the same points that I tried to hit the first time. So basically, in the beginning of the movie, we meet the character that's played by Johnny Depp's daughter. I can't even remember what her name is supposed to be in the movie. I think it's like Ella Ellis, or something like that. Something in that genre. But then we meet her husband, Thomas. And her husband, Thomas, is like kind of a cute guy, I guess. But her husband, Thomas, goes off on this job that's in like a foreign country. And it's like the 1800s, so it like takes him weeks to like go to another country, right? And you get weird vibes from her character from literally like the opening scene of the movie. Like, it's giving girl why you actin' so cray vibes, okay? Like from the beginning of the movie, she just seems off. And I will say this right now, Nosferatu spoilers ahead. I may have already given a couple. And also, there was a lot of freaking it in this movie. So if you are not prepared for that, you may turn back now. That is your warning. So basically, in the beginning of the movie, we see a lot of her husband off to do this job in a foreign country, and also we find out that his boss who sent him off to do this job in a foreign country is like also totally cray. Everybody in this movie is fucking crazy. Let's just say that. Let's just go with that. And so he goes off. We see a lot of her with the couple that she's staying with while he's gone, and she is acting so cray. It is bad. She's like having these seizures, and like the thing about it is she's having these like weird demonic seizures or whatever, and we're definitely led to believe that's a bad thing, except in the movie she seems like really kind of horny about it. She seems like really too horny about the fact that she's seizing all the time. And it's a little bit weird. But then I watched an interview with her after I got out of the movie, and she was talking about how the movie is supposed to be this love triangle between her character and the vampire and her husband. And so, like, I guess it's supposed to be horny. I didn't really think in the beginning of the movie that we were going in that direction. Because the thing about Nosferatu is that he's like a folklore character that came like before Dracula or whatever, and he's not much like rotting corpse, like parts of his skin are falling off. Like, it's not good. It's not hot, babe. And she is very much into it, I guess. That is not where I thought we were going in the beginning of the movie. Like I said, I thought this was very much like the vampire isn't sexy. This is not Twilight. It's giving bestial vampire. It's giving he is a monster. Apparently not. Apparently I was wrong. Apparently we're okay with getting freaky with him, even though he is a full-on monster. Um, weird. But yeah, she's having these like demonic seizures, and she seems really horny about it. And um, the meanwhile, the husband is struggling out in these streets. Okay, he's struggling, and he is like at this weird castle that everybody told him not to go to, where he meets Count whatever the fuck, who is Nosferatu. And the guy basically terrorizes him the whole time, and he also has to be fed off of by the Count. Like, he has to have full on vampire bites on him when he wakes up twice before he realizes that the Count is a for real vampire. Like, not once, twice. Girl, it's giving a little clueless. I'm sorry. Okay, also, I will say, if you want to watch my TikTok where I gave a very summarized movie review, in my TikTok I gave the movie 3.5 stars. And I'm gonna stick to that. I'm gonna stick to that rating because it was a good movie. There was like, for a horror movie, there was a lot of blood, there was a lot of gore, there was a lot of freak in it. But the overall plot line was really confusing, and her husband's boss, who everybody calls the lunatic throughout the movie, I just like don't know what he contributes to the plot, because like at some point the detective who's trying to figure all this out, who's trying to like solve their Nosferatu problem, he talks about how like we need to find the lunatic, and there's like all this writing on the walls, and you think like, oh, the lunatic is going to be important because of what he knows about Nosferatu, because he's supposed to be like actually Nosferatu's assistant, right? Like behind closed doors. I guess not behind closed doors once he starts biting off pigeon heads, but that's another story. So basically, he's supposed to be Nosferatu's assistant, and so you think like he's gonna be important because of what he knows about Nosferatu, and then literally the only thing he's important for is when they go looking for Nosferatu and they think they found him and they think they're gonna get him, and then it's not him in the coffin, it's the lunatic guy, and he gets stabbed to death. And so literally the only thing that this man is important for in the entire movie is getting stabbed to death. It's not giving for his character. I don't love that for him. But yeah, what else? So basically, the entire movie is like, okay, so the movie takes place in the 1830s, right? And so the whole movie, everybody is carrying around these like antique lamps, and so it's like kind of cool like that. It's kind of cool like that. But like, while she's staying at this couple's house, while her husband is away, and her husband like tries to stab Nosferatu and fails, and that's when Nosferatu ends up he like stands up out of like his coffin or whatever, and that's when we see like a whole shot of like wrinkly vampire dick. But my fiance told me beforehand that was gonna happen, and he just said like, hey, in this movie there's a whole shot of wrinkly vampire dick, and so I was expecting it when it happened, and I was expecting more than I got, okay? Because it's not like a close-up or anything. I was a little disappointed with the amount of wrinkly vampire dick that we have received. I feel like we could have received more, especially because this movie freaks it from beginning to end. So that was just interesting. But yeah, she's staying with his family, and her husband is like struggling out here in these streets. He tries to kill Nosferatu and he fails, and then he like escapes the castle and like jumps into the water and like ends up at this nunnery. But then like the nuns want to help him. Like the nuns are trying to help him, babe, and he doesn't want any help from the nuns, so he like leaves on his horse. But then the horse like takes him home to his country, which is like 3 weeks away. He traveled like 3 weeks on this horse, okay, like half dead, okay. He gets home, he's like more than half dead. He's like literally on the verge of dying. He gets there. His wife goes outside, sees him pulling up on the horse. The horse bucks him off onto their front lawn, essentially. And then the horse just leaves. I shit you not, the horse turns the fuck around and leaves. That horse said, I'm going back to my country. I'm gone. Me and my husband actually had the entire theater to ourselves. Like, nobody, because we went at 4 p.m. to see a horror movie. There was no one else there. And so, yeah, we sat there the entire time by ourselves. And so we talked through the whole thing. And at that point, we just laughed. Me and my husband are so funny, especially when we're together. So we were just laughing through this whole bit because the horse just turned around and left him there. Damn, not getting left by your horse. Sorry, that's rough. And so yeah, he gets left there by his horse when he's more than half dead. And his wife like saves him or whatever. And then she like has this dream about Nosferatu where he's like, tonight is the first night and you haven't chosen me, so like everybody around you is gonna die. And so like everybody around her starts to die, and the whole thing is like on the third night your husband is gonna die. And so on the first night, nobody dies, but the girl that she's in bed with, who is the girl that she's been staying with, the girl of the couple that she's been staying with, ends up like getting attacked out of their bed by Nosferatu and like chewed on by rats. It's a weird scene. She doesn't die though, but she does die. The next night, on night 2, so many people die on that night. Oh, also because Nosferatu is like the plague bringer. So like when he arrives in her country, which is Germany, he like brings the plague with him. And so like not only are the people like around her suffering and dying because she like denied Nosferatu some puss, but also like a bunch of people in her country are dying because he like brought a plague with him. And he also like came over on this ship, and he like terrorized all the people on the ship while he came over, and they like thought it was a plague ship because it was like all full of rats and everything, but actually Nosferatu just killed everybody on the ship. So that was rough for them. But yeah, he like makes it to her country and like gives her this dream, and like everybody in her country is dying as well as all the people she knows. So like on night 2, the couple that she's staying with, he like eats their kids. Oop. And then he like eats the mom. Oop. That stuff. And then we go to the funeral the next day, and the dad of that family is like going absolutely insane. He's like losing his shit as you would. And he's like talking to the wife, the daughter of Johnny Depp, her character, and he's like, "This is all your fault because you've been staying with me and my wife, and you've been having these weird, horny demon seizures, and now my wife and my kids are dead, and it's your fault." Crazy style. If you know that meme, you're a G. But basically, the meme, the crazy style meme, is because he talks. Nosferatu, the vampire guy, he talks in this voice like the whole movie. That's like a super thick accent of some kind. It's kind of hard to understand at some points, but it actually made joking about the movie much easier to do. So that's a D, I guess. Um, but yeah. So on the second night, everybody dies, and then the next morning they're at the funeral, and the guy's losing his shit. And basically, while he's losing his shit, um, her husband, who is now back from being attacked by the vampire, um, like shows off his chest and is like, the vampire is real. It had to bite me twice for me to realize that. Right. And so then Frederick, the um father of this family that died, who's like losing his shit now, he like further loses his absolute shit, and tries to get freaky with his dead wife. Like I said, there's so much freaking it in this movie. There's also some freaking it between Johnny Depp's daughter's character and her husband while she is having one of these demon seizures. Yeah, she's like having a whole possession moment. He's like, let me get some of that. Wow. And so, yeah, basically he gets freaky with his dead wife. Oh, and that's on the third night that the husband is like supposed to die. And so the husband and the doctor who has been seeing her for like these seizures and another guy, they go out and they're like hunting for Nosferatu. Because it's the third night and they don't want him to kill the husband. They're gonna kill Nosferatu before the husband kills him. Or before he kills the husband. Whatever. They're gonna kill him. They're gonna kill the vampire guy. Wow, they're gonna kill the monster. Surprising. And so basically they find Frederick dead in the coffin with his already dead wife because they were getting freaky. And so they burn them because I guess that's what we're doing. I don't know. But like while they're burning them is when the husband of Johnny Depp's daughter realizes that like he's not actually hunting the vampire because the doctor guy knew better. And the doctor guy knew the whole time that actually back at their house his wife was sacrificing herself for the vampire guy because she knew that she was actually the only one that could fulfill the prophecy and beat the vampire guy, which is insane behavior. But the doctor guy knew the whole time, and then the husband finds out that he knew the whole time while they're like trying to burn these dead people. This is so graphic, but you shouldn't be listening to an ASMR version of a horror movie review if you didn't want it to be graphic. Sorry about it, Queen. So basically, she sacrifices herself to save everybody. But the way that she sacrifices herself is by freaking it with the vampire. The vampire just wanted some puss the whole time. I think I outed that before, but like, literally the whole prophecy is like, the maiden that lays with him until morning sacrifices herself for everybody. That's the fucking prophecy. That's the entire prophecy. And she was like born to do this or whatever. It's giving grooming in a little bit of a way. In a lot of bit of a way, actually. Yeah, that movie was insane. But like I said, there were some moments where I didn't have a problem with the freaking it. Like the wrinkly vampire dick scene, I could have done with some more freaking it than we got. But there were also some scenes like the biting off of the pigeon head that I think we could have done with a lot less. Because what was that? We did not need to see that, especially not that close into the camera. That was a lot. But yeah, that's why I gave the movie 3.5 stars. That's basically all my thoughts about it from beginning to end. We did get to see the daughter of Johnny Depp. She was nude in the end scene, finds her that way, and he has like a bunch of reporters or some. He has bitches with him. And the bitches are like making a big deal about it, and then the end of the movie ends with a picture of her and the vampire guy dead on the bed together and nude with a bunch of flowers around them because they fulfilled the prophecy or whatever. But that is crazy. You're telling me right now that you would let a bunch of people write news articles about your dead wife, dead with a vampire guy? I'm sorry, no. You need to respect her more than that. You need to get that dead vampire man off of her before you allow other people in the room, sir. That is not cool. I didn't like that part. I did not really like the ending. But yeah. I hope you like, and I hope you subscribe, and I hope that you got the tea from this video. If you want to see it, if you don't want to see it, if you do want to see it, I recommend waiting for it to be on streaming services, because I did not have to watch it with any strangers in the theater. But if you did have to watch it with strangers in the theater, that would be probably pretty awkward. So